Hello students, welcome to unit number 3 in design and analysis of algorithms. In this lecture we are going to be cover a concept which is named as optimal merge patterns. So this is your unit 3 syllabus. So in the last classes we have completed general method, right? Okay. So in the current class we are going to be cover optimal merge patterns concept. Okay. So the main contents of this lecture are we will understand the procedure of optimal merge patterns, followed by an example, followed by an application. So application is nothing but we are going to be discussing Huffman coding. So this is the application we are going to be learn under this concept only. Okay. So the main objective of this lecture is you are going to be understanding how to apply two-way merging technique, and the main outcome of this lecture is you are going to be analyzing the Huffman coding concept with the help of optimal merge patterns. Okay. So first of all you try to focus on what is the main theme of optimal merge patterns. Okay. So in the previous classes you are having an experience with merge sort algorithm, how to merge two sorted files. Okay. So what happens if I am having a scenario of more than two files are there to merge? Okay. So based on this scenario you require this concept. And in your daily life you are going to be merging multiple files into single RAR file, right? For example, I am having 5 PDF files. So I need to merge those 5 PDF files into a single file. So ultimately that merged file is going to be having a less size compared to the total size of all individual those 5 PDFs. Okay. Now we will see about application of Huffman coding. So how to reduce the size of the merged file, so with the help of optimal merge patterns. So first of all you try to focus on the procedure. So how this optimal merge pattern is going to be works. So initially you know about how to merge the two sorted lists or arrays. Okay, with the help of merge sort algorithm in our previous classes we have seen. Okay, for example, array A is having 4 number of elements and array B is having 4 number of elements. So the first input array of sorted array is having how many number of elements? 4 number of elements, and second input array of sorted array of B also having 4 number of elements. So to merge these two sorted arrays, how much amount of memory you need to allocate for your merged file? 4 plus 4, which is 8, right? So this is the way you are going to be merging two sorted files with the help of merge sort. Now my scenario is what happens if you are having more than two files? So ultimately you require a greedy technique to get the optimal solution. So here my optimal solution is minimum. Okay, that's going to be my best solution. So if you merge these two files, ultimately my resultant array is going to be having 8 number of memory locations. Why? Because the input array A is having 4 number of elements and B also having 4 number of elements. To combine these two sorted arrays or sorted list, ultimately my output array must have 8 number of memory locations. So you are going to have two sorted files which contains, for example, n number of records as well as m number of records. Ultimately the merged together file will going to be have n plus m. Like in the previous example, the size of the input array is 4 elements and the size of the second input array is 4 number of elements. So after merging these two input sorted arrays, the output array must holds 8 number of memory locations. Okay, that can be done by n plus m. So that n plus m will going to be my time complexity to merge n number of records as well as m number of records. Okay. So here I am going to be use a technique which is named as two-way merging. So let us focus about what about two-way merging and why it is required. So you require this technique if you are having more than two files. So if you want to merge more than two sorted files, ultimately you require this two-way merging technique, and as the name suggests, at a time you are merging two files only. So that's why this concept named as two-way merging. At a time you are merging two files and it is required if you are having more than two sorted files. Okay, so at a time you are going to be repeatedly merging two sorted files, that will be called as a pair. Pair contains how many files? Two files, right? So that's why this concept is named as two-way merging. At a time two sorted files only I am merging, Okay, that's why this concept is named as two-way merging. So let us consider this case. So here how many files are there? 4 files are there named as A, B, C, D. So what is the size of A? 6. What is the size of B? 5. What is the size of C? 2. What is the size of D? 3. So likewise, how many number of files are there? 4 number of files are there. And those files are having respective sizes, right? Now I need to apply these optimal merge patterns to merge all these 4 files into a single file. That single file will be called as a merged file. Okay. Now let us understand this case. So in this case 1 scenario, I am merging these 4 input files of A, B, C, D with the help of linear way. So with the help of linear approach, I am merging. Like initially I will merge A and B. So if I merge A and B, ultimately I will get one merged file. Okay, that will be merged with C and that will be merged with D. So likewise, I am merging the files from left to right in a linear way. Okay. Now let us understand, if you are merging these 4 files into a single file in a linear way from left to right, what is the time complexity it is going to be generates. So let us focus. So this is my procedure, right? So I am following a linear merging procedure, nothing but A followed by B. That resultant merged file will be merged with C followed by D. Okay. So you try to observe the tree structure now. So the files as well as the corresponding sizes are like this. Okay, A followed by B followed by C followed by D. So initially I am merging A and B. So if I merge A and B, what is the size of A? 6, right? What is the size of B? 5. So if you merge these two, ultimately you will get a merged file size which is going to be 6 plus 5, nothing but 11. And now this 11 will be merged with C with a size 2. So ultimately you will get a merged file size 11 plus 2, which is going to be 13. And this merged file is going to be merged with D with a size 3. So 13 plus 3, which is going to be becomes 16. So likewise, you are going to be merging the files which are starting from left to right in a linear manner under case number 1. Now try to observe what is the time complexity of this case. So initially I am merging A and B, I will get a time complexity which is 11. So merged file size is going to be 11, and that merged file of A and B, now this merged file is having both A and B, right? So that will be merged with file C and that is going to be merged with file D. So likewise you are going to be have a tree structure. So initially you are going to be have a 4 files. So after applying this merging technique in a linear way from left to right, so I am going to get the final merged file with a size 16. Now what is the time complexity for merging these 4 files into a single file? So ultimately here you have merged 2 files with a time complexity 11, and here you have merged 2 files, again 2 files with a time complexity 13, and again here also you have merged 2 files with a time complexity 16. So the total time complexity, if you apply this case, is going to be 11 plus 13 plus 16. Together it is going to be total time complexity 40. Okay. So this is going to be a two-way merging, right? At a time I am merging 2. Okay. If you observe here to get 13, I am merging merged file with a size 11 and the C file with a size 2. So together it is going to be 13. Okay. So this is about the case number 1. Now let us observe the second case, is going to be case number 2. So in the case number 2, I am merging A and B first, and in the second iteration I am merging C and D. So after merging A and B, I will get a merged file X. After merging C and D, I am going to get a merged file Y, for example, let us assume. So that X and Y will be merged to get the final merged file size with a labeled Z. So likewise I am merging. So the case 2 procedure is going to be, so initially you are merging A and B followed by C and D. That merged file of A and B and as well as C and D will be merged again to get the total final merged file. Okay. Now try to observe the tree structure. Okay. So initially I am merging A and B. A file size is 6, B file size is 5. Together it is going to be 11. Now I am merging C and D with the sizes 2 and 3. Together it is going to be 2 plus 3 5. Now I am going to be merging 11 merged file as well as the file size merged file which is going to be 5. So together I am going to be get a file size which is going to be 16. So if you find out the time complexity for following this case number 2, so ultimately it is going to be order of 11 plus 5 plus 16, together it is going to be 32. So 32 is a time complexity if you are following this approach. Likewise, how many approaches you are getting? Multiple approaches are getting. Now let us observe the greedy approach, that is case number 3. So what greedy approach is telling, so to get the optimal minimum solution, that is going to be my best solution, right? So to get that minimum best solution, so try to merge the least size files first. So if you merge the least size files, ultimately my entire solution is going to be optimal, nothing but I can have a capability to get the minimum solution. Okay. Now let us observe how greedy will going to be works. Okay. So this is my case number 3, and I am following a procedure. I am merging minimum length of files first. Okay. So how many number of files are there? 4 number of files. So what are the first 2 minimum files? So A having 6, file B having 5, okay, file C having size 2, and file D is having size 3. So what are the least 2 files? So you are following two-way merging, right? At a time you are eligible to merge 2 files. So the least 2 files are C and D. So if you merge C and D first, the merged file size is 5. Now you try to verify again. How many files are there at this level? 3 files are there, A, B and 1 merged file with a size 5. So among these 3 files, what is the minimum least 2 files are there? Nothing but B and this file. Okay, you should try to merge these 2. And you will get a size 5 plus 5 which is 10, and this is going to be merged with 6 to get a value. You are going to get a final value which is 60. Okay. So now try to observe the tree structure, how it is going to be. Okay. So I am going to have 4 files with the sizes like this. So initially I am merging C and D. Why? Because C and D are having least sizes. So if you merge these 2, 2 and 3 is going to be becomes a merged file 5. Now this is going to be merged with file B. Why? Because at this level, so how many files are there? A, B and 1 merged file. So among these 3 files, what are the least 2 files are having? This merged file as well as file B. Right now I am merging these 2. Now at this level, how many files are there? File A and this merged file size 10. So if you merge these 2, ultimately I will get a total file size as 16. So now can you find out the time complexity of this one? Nothing but 16 plus 10 plus 5, which is going to be generates the total time complexity as 31. Okay. So among case 1, case 2 and case 3, which case is providing the minimum solution to you? Case 3, right? So this is going to be my greedy approach. So case 1, in the case 1, I am merging the files linearly from left to right. Okay. In case number 2, I am merging first 2 files and last 2 files. In case 3, I am applying my greedy approach to find out before merging what are the 2 least files are there. So based on the two-way merging technique, I am merging. So in the above all 3 cases, my case 3 is going to be gives the minimum solution. Okay. So the greedy method will going to be follows the merging pair of small files only. So that gives my best solution. Now, so let us understand an example to apply my optimal merge patterns. With some pattern only, two-way merge pattern only I am merging, right? That gives my optimal solution. That's why it is called as optimal merge patterns. Okay? Let us consider files. These are my files. How many files are there? X1, X2, X3, X4 and X5. 5 files are there. So these are the corresponding sizes. Okay? So what greedy approach is telling? Before merging the files, you try to apply the two-way merging concept with the help of increasing order only. So try to convert this given file order along with the sizes in a increasing order. With respect to sizes only I am shuffling. Okay. So among these 5 files, so what are the files which are having least sizes? So at first you are going to be get a least file size which is X4. Next you are going to be get X3. Okay. Next you are going to be get X1, and next you are going to be get X2 followed by X5. So based on the sizes only, I am converting my given order in a form of increasing order. So try to observe this. So this is my order of changing the or arranging the files with the help of the sizes only. Okay. So initially my least file size is going to be x4, which is the size 5. So that's why x5 will come first. So the sizes will going to be like this. Okay, now try to apply these optimal merge patterns. So to merge all these 5 files into a single file with the help of a tree structure. So that a tree structure, technically we are calling it as a binary tree. So why we are calling the tree structure as a binary tree? At a time we are going to be merging 2 files, right? So this is my binary tree representation. So how many number of files are there? 5 files are there. I have arranged all these 5 files in an increasing order only. First x4 will come, followed by x3, x1, x2 and x5. Now what are the files you are merging first? x4 as well as x3. What is the size of x4? 5. What is the size of x3? 10. So if you merge these two, ultimately you will get a merged file with a size 15. So at this level, how many files are there? 4 files are there, 1 merged file and 3 independent files. So if you apply the greedy approach to merge these 4 files, ultimately what are the least 2 file sizes are there? 15 as well as 20. So try to merge these merged file size 15 as well as x1. So you will get a total size is going to be 35. Okay. So every merged file I am labeling. Okay, so this merged file I am labeling with Z1 and this one I am labeling with Z2. Okay. So at this level, how many files are there? One merged file is there with a size 35 and 2 independent files with a size as 30 as well as 30. So among these 3 files, what are the 2 least files? x2 as well as x5 with the sizes 30 as well as 30 respectively. So if you merge these 2 files, ultimately you will get a merged file size with a size 60. I am labeling it as a Z3. Okay. So at this level, how many files are there? Only 2 files are there. So if you merge these two, ultimately you will get a final merged file size with a 95. Can you tell me what is the total time complexity of this binary tree representation? Nothing but order of 15 plus 60 plus 35 plus 95 will gives my total time complexity. Okay. So all these circle symbols will represent as a internal nodes. So all these square or rectangle symbols will be represented as a external nodes. So how to get the time complexity of this binary tree? By summing all the values which are available in the internal nodes to get my total time complexity. Okay. So this is going to be, this last final size is labeled with Z4. Okay. Now try to observe. So in this binary tree, so all the leaf nodes. So what are the leaf nodes you are having? x4, x3, x1, x2, x5 are going to be called as the leaf nodes as well as external nodes also. And coming to, and the nodes which are drawn as a circles will be called as a internal nodes. So with the help of internal nodes only, you are getting the total time complexity. So what is the total time complexity to represent this binary tree? With the help of these optimal merge patterns, with the help of two-way merging, that is going to be order of 15 plus 60 plus 35 plus 95, which gives my total time complexity as 205. So if you observe here, every internode is having exactly 2 children. So that's why it is called as a binary tree. Okay. Now, yes. Another approach is also there to find out the time complexity. Now let us observe how it is going to be possible. So that can be possible with a formula sigma of di into xi. So what is meant by this di, which defines the distance from the root node to the leaf node? So what is meant by this xi, which defines the size of the particular leaf node? Okay. Now can you find out the distance from root node to x4? So how many levels are available from root node to x4? Here first level is available, here second level is available, here third level is available. So the distance from root node to x4 is 3, right? Now what is the distance from root node to x3? So at how many levels it is available? Here first level is available, second level and third level, and the distance is 3. Now what is the distance from root node to x1? At how many levels it is available? Here first level, here second level. So it is available at a distance 2. And what about x2? x2 also available with a distance 2. What about x5? x5 also available with a distance 2. So with the help of the distance only, as well as the multiplication of the particular individual file size, I am going to have a capability to get the total time complexity also. Okay, it can be find out in these two ways. Yes. So if you apply this sigma of di into xi, so ultimately we will get a total time complexity as 205 only. So both this sum of internal node values as well as sigma of di into xi, so both procedures will going to be generate the same time complexity. Okay, so you can follow anything. So both are acceptable. Okay. Now let us understand the algorithm of this one. Here I am taking a record. Okay, this record is having three fields. So first field is going to be pointing to the left children. So why? Because here I am using a binary tree, right? Binary tree, right? Exactly two children are there. Okay. So the second pointer which points to the right children, and the third one parameter which pointing the weight of the corresponding internal node, right? So if you observe the tree structure, so every node is going to be having two things. So this is going to be my left children and this is going to be my right children. So if you sum the weight of left children as well as right children, ultimately you can have a capability to get the size of the merged file. So with the principle only I have taken a record. So this record is having three parameters, left children, right children, and these two are going to be a pointers which pointing the particular left children node as well as right children node. Based on that one you can have a capability to get the value of your internal node, right? Now that internal node is having some weight with the data type integer type only it is available, right? Now let us understand this algorithm with the help of this record. So how many parameters it is taking as an input? Only one parameter, right? Only one parameter is taking as an input. Okay, so if you observe the binary tree representation, how many in that example, how many external nodes are there? A number of external nodes are there. So how many internal nodes you are getting? N minus 1, right? So if you observe this tree structure, how many internal nodes you are getting? 4 internal nodes you are getting. So if you are having n number of external nodes, ultimately you will get n minus 1 internal nodes. So with that principle only, I am going to be have a capability to trace my algorithm. Okay, so this algorithm is going to be taking n number parameter as an input which defines number of external nodes. Your for loop is tracing with a values from 1 to n minus 1. So from first file to n minus 1 y. So n, here n defines number of external nodes, and here n minus 1 defines number of internal nodes. So if you are having n number of external nodes, ultimately you are going to get n minus 1 size of internal nodes. That's why my for loop is starting from 1 to n minus 1. This reducing from n to n minus 1 is very, very important. Okay. Now, so here I have created the memory for my new node that is pointed by PT with the help of a new keyword. Okay. So now coming to the left children, the left children is pointing to first least file size. Okay, and right children is pointing to second least file which is available in my list. Okay, now how to get the weight? So sum of the weight of left children as well as the weight of right children. Okay, with the help of the sum of weight of left children as well as right children, I can have a capability to get the weight of my internal node. Okay, so likewise I am inserting each and every n minus 1 internal nodes into my list. Okay, so after that one I am returning my least. So last merged least size I am returning. Okay, so if you observe here, how many number of times your for loop is executing? N minus 1 times. And how many number of nodes you are inserting? N minus 1. So n minus 1 into n minus 1, you will get a total time complexity as worst case order of n square. That's why here the time complexity is n square. Okay, don't get confused. Now try to observe the application of these optimal merge patterns, nothing but Huffman coding. Okay, so we try to understand first of all why this Huffman coding is required, even though you are having ASCII coding. Okay, so with the help of ASCII coding only, we are representing the data, right? To send the data from one place to another place or one mission to another mission. Now let us understand why this Huffman coding is required and why it is supporting these optimal merge patterns. Okay, So let us take an example. Here I am taking a message. Now my task is to send this message from source machine to destination machine or sender to receiver. Okay. So this message is having how many number of characters? 20 number of characters. Okay. So if I follow ASCII coding representation to send these 20 alphabets from sender to receiver with the help of this ASCII coding, so what type of data you are sending? Character type of data. So in ASCII coding system, the character occupies how many number of bytes as a size? 1 byte. The size of character is 1 byte, right? So 1 byte means 8 bits. So likewise, how many number of alphabets are there? 20 alphabets are there. Every alphabet occupies 8 bits. Together it is going to be 160 bits. So if you follow this ASCII coding system, ultimately you need to have a memory of 160 bits for sending this data. As well as receiver also must carry this data, right? So to carry these 160 bits, receiver also having the same amount of memory. Otherwise the message will not be going to be delivered properly. Okay, so to send this message of 160 bits, sender must maintain this amount of data as well as receiver also must maintain this amount of data. Okay, now let us observe this Huffman coding. Now in this Huffman coding, instead of following this ASCII coding, I am going to be following a coding which will be given by Huffman. Let us observe how this Huffman coding is going to be associated to optimal merge patterns to reduce the size of the merged file. That is my task now. Okay, in the previous discussion, we have seen how to merge the file only. Now we will see about an application, nothing but Huffman coding, how to reduce the size of the merged file. So if you are following ASCII coding system, it is occupying a size which is 160 bits. So with the help of Huffman coding, so I am checking that or I am verifying that is there any chance to reduce the size of my data. So with the help of binary tree only, I am going to be merging. Okay. Now, this is my message, right? It is having 20 number of alphabets. Let us organize this data in a tabular format, like this. Okay, this message is having how many number of characters? A, B is there, C is there, D is there, as well as E is there. How many number of times A is repeated? 3 number of times. How many number of times B is repeated? 5 number of times. In this message only I am telling. So in these 20 alphabets, how many number of times C is repeated? 6 number of times. So in this same message only, how many number of times D is repeated? 4 number of times. How many number of times alphabet E is repeated? 2 number of times. Okay, so based on these sizes, these are counts. Counts are nothing but sizes. Sizes of all corresponding alphabets, I am going to be having a capability to construct a binary tree with the help of these optimal merge patterns to send this data from sender to receiver in a compressed way. Now here my question is how to fill this code. So this coding will be filled with the help of binary tree representation with the help of this application named as Huffman coding. Okay, so these are my file sizes, right? So you are going to have 3, 5, 6, 4, 2. But to apply optimal merge patterns, greedy method is suggesting that first merge 2 least file sizes. Then only the optimal solution is going to be the best solution. Okay, so among these 5 character sizes, what are the increasing order is going to be 2 followed by 3, 3 followed by 4, followed by 5, followed by 6. So initially you are merging these 2 least files, right? 2 and 3. These 2 least characters, 2 and 3. So if you merge these 2 least characters first, so ultimately you will get a merged file is going to be size which is going to be 5. Okay. Now at this level, how many characters or files are there? 5, 4, 5, 6. What are the 2 least files? 5 and 4. Now merge these 2, 5 and 4. You will get a merged file which is going to be 9. So at this level, how many files are there? Merged file size 9, 5 and 6. Okay, among these 3 files, what are the 2 least files are there? 5 and 6. Now you try to match 5 and 6, you will get a size which is 11. So at this level, how many files are there? Only 2 files are there. So try to merge 9 and 11, you will get a merged file size which is going to be 20. Now, after constructing the binary tree with the help of optimal merge patterns with the, as well as a greedy technique, how this, you try to observe how this binary tree representation will be helpful to fill these codes to your corresponding characters. So what Huffman coding is telling is, this technique is telling is, so after constructing a binary tree representation, you try to label all the left subtrees with zeros and all the right subtree edges as ones. Okay? So now I am labeling all the left subtree edges as zeros and right subtree edges as ones, like this. So initially, so this is left edge, right? So this is also labeled with 0. And what are the remaining left edges are there? Here it is available. Now this is also going to be merged, labeled with 0. Now the remaining are going to be called as right subtree edges, right? So here one is available, here it is available, here also, here also. So you are going to be labeling everything with one value. So nothing but a binary number system I am following, zeros and ones. Now, so how to get the codes? Okay. So what 2 is, what 3 is representing a character A, 2 is representing a character E, okay, 4 is representing a character D, and 5 is representing character B, and 6 is representing a character C. Now how to fill the codes? Like your previous example, distance from root node to the external node. So for the first character, what is the first character? Here it is available, E. Okay. So what is the values which are available from root node to E? So to move from root node to E, what are the values you need to trace? 0, 0, 0. Okay, the code for E is going to be 0, 0, 0. Okay. Now what is the code for A? So how to get the code for A? So try to trace from root node to A. So how to move from root node to A? 0, 0, 1. So the code for A is going to be 0, 0, 1. And the code for D is going to be 0, 1. And the code for B is going to be, it is available at right side of my root node, right? So 1, 0. Now how to reach C from root node? 1, 1. So this is the way you are going to be filling the codes. Instead of following ASCII codes, I am following my own codes given by Huffman technique. Okay. Now try to find out the size if I follow this coding technique, which is given by my binary tree representation. Okay. Ultimately, my table will be converted as like this. Okay. So A code will be converted, A alphabet will be converted as a code 001, and B will be converted as 10, C will be converted as 11, D will be converted as 01, E will be converted as 000. Likewise, I am applying my encryption. Right? I have converted my alphabetic order of ASCII codes into Huffman coding system. So that is nothing but a technique of encryption, right? Now, what is the size of A code? 3 bits are there. How many number of times A is repeating? 3 number of times. So 3 into 3 is 9. This is the way you are going to be filling the last one. So what is the code for B? 10. How many bits are there? 2 bits are there. How many number of times B is repeated? 5 number of times. So together the size is 5 into 2, 10 bits. So what is the code for C? 1, 1. What is the size of 1, 1? 2 bits. Okay. So how many number of times C is repeating? 6 number of times. 6 into 2 is 12. What is the code for D? 0, 1, which is having 2 bits. So how many number of times D is repeating? 4 times. So 4 into 2, which gives the solution is 8. So what is the code of E? 0, 0, 0. What is the size of 0, 0, 0? 3 bits are there. How many number of times E is repeating? 2 number of times. So 2 into 3 is going to be 6. So likewise, you are filling the last column. So how to get the total size for this representation with the help of Huffman coding? You try to sum all these last column values, nothing but 9 plus 10 plus 12 plus 8 plus 6, which gives my total size as 45. So this is this 45 bits represents encryption only, not for entire thing. Okay, so to send these 20 alphabets, I am following this Huffman coding with the help of this binary tree representation. For my encryption, I need to have 45 bits. So I hope you are aware about encryption will be done at sender side and decryption will be done at receiver side. Now to decode this information that can be encrypted at sender side, at your receiver side, as a receiver you must have this table or not. So you must have this table, otherwise it is not possible to decode the information. Why? Because sender has converted this A into a representation of 001. To decode this information into plain text, you must contain this table information corresponding coding bits. Then only as a server it is very easy, otherwise it is not possible to view the encrypted information into plain text. Okay. Now let us discuss about decoding process at receiver side only. Okay, encryption will be done at sender side and decryption will be done at receiver side. Okay, so as I said previously, as a receiver you must have this coding information, otherwise it is not possible to convert the encrypted data into plain text. Now, so as a receiver you must carry this table, how many number of alphabets your input data is having and what are the corresponding codes. Okay, so the receiver is following ASCII coding number system, right? Okay. Now, as a receiver, how many number of characters are there in the table which are available? 5 characters are there. Every character which is going to be occupies how many size of bits? 8 bits. So which is going to be 40 bits. Okay. So why? Because receiver using ASCII code system. But sender is sent the data with the help of Huffman coding system. Okay. Now, and in this table at receiver side only, how many number of coding bits are available? Here 3 bits are there, here 2 bits, here 2 bits, here also 2 bits, here also 3 bits. Together is going to be 12 bits, right? Okay. Now 40 plus 12, which is going to be 52 bits. So 52 bits which are required for your receiver to decode this encrypted information done at sender side. Now try to observe the procedure. So if you are carrying the table to decode the information at receiver side, ultimately total 5 characters are there. So the receiver is following ASCII code system, 5 into 8 is going to be 40 bits. So ultimately you need to carry the corresponding codes. How many bits are there? 12 bits are there. So 40 plus 12, which is going to be gives 52 for my decoding process. Now how to get the total size for my encryption as well as decryption? So at encryption process you got the size which is 45 bits and at decryption process you got 52 bits. If you sum both encryption and decryption, ultimately the total size to send this data of 20 alphabets from sender to receiver going to be 97 only. Together it is 97. Okay. So if you follow the same example with the help of ASCII coding system, it is occupying 160 bits. But if you apply Huffman coding, it occupies 97 bits. How many number of bits you are saving? 160 minus 97, which is going to be 63 bits you are going to be saving if you follow Huffman coding instead of ASCII coding number system. That is a main advantage of Huffman coding. Okay, you can have a capability to reduce the size of the merged file with the help of encryption as well as decryption process. Okay, so as of now we have seen procedure of optimal merge patterns, followed by algorithm, followed by an application also, followed by example also on Huffman coding. Okay, so now try to take this problem as an exercise. So in this problem, how many files are there? 6 files are there, A, B, C, D, E and F. Following sizes are going to be 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 30. So all the files are in a increasing order only. Okay, if files are not available in a increasing order, you try to shuffle them. I hope you are aware of it, how to construct the random values in the increasing order. Okay, so first of all, what are the files you are merging? 2 followed by 3. Okay, so likewise you are merging at a time 2 files with the help of two-way merging technique. Okay, I hope this concept is clear to you along with application of Wolfman coding. Okay, thank you. That's the end of the class. Thank you.